Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, hey, like, comment, of course, subscribe. And if you disagree with anything, please just let me know in the comments. All right, so today we're going to do another mock draft for the Commanders. This one is actually with trades. And on top of that, they keep Sam Howell. So I do spoil the surprise at the beginning. They keep Sam Howell. They commit to him in this trade, in this mock draft. So what we're going to do is pretty much what I'm saying is I went on ahead. I traded back 2 picks with Arizona, and in return, we got their first, 27th, 66, and the 3rd round, 4th, and 7th round. So that's what we got for next year's draft. But in this year's draft, this is what they got. 4th, 27, and 66 overall for the pick trade back to number 4 for Arizona to get number 2. All right, first things first, if we're going to stick with Sam Howell, the Commanders, what they need to do is right away, Joe Alt, best offensive tackle in the draft. Hands down, enough said. Arms, can do it. I like it. We love it. Can't get enough of it. That's what you need to focus on. Joe Alt right there. Secondly, at 27, this is where it starts to get really fun for me. You got to replace Montez Sweat and Chase Young. Go ahead, get Chop Robinson. Familiar in the area, knows how to play, knows how to get down. Oh, man, beautiful. So right there off the rip, you're covering your O-line and your D-line. We got a lot more work to do, but Chop is not the best defensive edge in this draft, but for the style that they're trying to play, just, hey, you put your head down and go after the quarterback. That's what I think they're going to do with Dan Quinn. I like the way he's going to mix them in there. That's what I can see. Now, here's where we get fun with it. At 36, which I don't think he's going to fall that far behind, is Troy Franklin. We got to get Sam Howell some more weapons. You pair Troy Franklin up with Jahad Dotson, Terry McLaurin, and now you got him over there. This should be fun to watch on film. Just Troy Franklin already knows how to be a number 1, right? So bringing that alpha receiver is going to be great for this locker room because now Terry doesn't have to be the number 1 guy anymore. Jahad doesn't have to just be a slot player. He can get just like how his first year was, how he was just so wide open a lot, and he dealt with a couple of injuries here and there. Curtis Samuel, inconsistent. He might hit free agency. Adding Troy Franklin to this is probably the best bet you could do as the Commanders, especially in this spot, adding some more receivers to the tool, because I really like him there. But we'll talk more and more about that with the receiver part on this draft. Next up, Cameron Kitchens, strong safety. He's like 6'3", 6'4". Dude, on tape, he was really physical. And I single-handedly watched Cameron Kitchens tear up my Texas A&M Aggies really bad. And then, of course, I seen him again in the Florida State game. He kind of just can do it all. Big dude, knows how to come down, pop, lay a hit, also knows how to cover, takes your tight end out of the game. That's kind of what you want from a safety. So he's really smart defensively. Player IQ, he's got that. If he's there in the 2nd round, which I think he's probably going to get taken a little bit earlier than 40, but if he's there, why not go ahead and grab him? Now, great value picks are these next 3 picks right here. 66, Christian Haynes out of UConn. Now, a lot of people are saying he went to UConn. There's not a lot of talent. This guy came to the Senior Bowl and dogged a lot of people out. That guy dogged a lot of people out. And I mean, like, move him out the club. You swimming? Don't worry about it. I'll take you down under. He just sat back, feet planted like a tree. Just having him add Joe Alt to that, oh my gosh. Dude, your whole side, whatever side you put them on, your quarterback Sam Howell never has to worry. Never has to look left, never has to look right. He knows that those boys got him in sight. And that's something right there that you really want, especially for your quarterback going in, knowing that he's your starter. You get him his receiver, get him his tackle, get him his guard. Now we're cooking, okay? So that's what I really like. I like Christian Hayes a lot. Next up is McKinley Jackson. A little undersized when it comes to defensive line, but man, that low sense of gravity, getting underneath that center skin, geez Louise. And actually, really, I wasn't in love with him, and I'm an A&M fan, right? So I wasn't really in love with him right away. And then I watched him in the South Carolina game. That's kind of when Jimbo was gone. South Carolina game. I watched him in the LSU game. I watched him in the game against Arkansas. Very disruptive. And, I bring these games up because in the South Carolina game, Spencer Rattler was really going on a really good tear through the SEC at that point. And then McKinley Johnson and the boys just said, no, we're good. We're good. We're going to stop that. Jaden Daniels, your Heisman candidate, got a taste of him as well. And LSU offensive line wasn't, amazing, but he had a really great game against them. So that's something that I really like. Add more depth to it. You got him, Chop. Now you got him over there to help out on the D-line. Then on top of that, you got some other guys as veterans already there. So getting that youth, building it back up. And what I mean by that is, like I said, Dan Quinn is running the operation now. So he's going to graft his defensive players. And I know you're saying to yourself, okay, you already got two. What's one more, right? The second best linebacker in this draft is going to be Cedric Gray out of North Carolina University. This guy, sideline to sideline, knows how to cover your flats, knows how to lay the wood on somebody, put fear in them. That dude is great at what he does. I'm in love with just his tape. You know what I mean? He stands out so much. Games that you should watch for him, Miami. Of course, obviously the classic Duke UNC game. That right there. Player recognition, like just IQ games, the Clemson game. He was just all over Will Shipley, just lifting him up like a truck a few times, like just in Will Shipley's face, just knowing how to take a player out of a game. That's what he was good at. All right. And then at 102, you get Max Milton out of Rutgers. I like him because of the debt. In my previous draft with no trades, I actually took Josh Newton in that position. Max Milton, I kind of watched some more highlights of him at the Senior Bowl. He wasn't bad. It's not like he was trash. He wasn't bad. So, I just think they need a corner. So they're going to have to get a debt. They're going to have to get a corner right away. Now, 137 is Jamari Thrash. This player is very slept on. He's about 6'1", 6 feet even. Dude, add him. So now you're saying to yourself, all right, we already got Troy Franklin. That's enough right there at receiver. This is where your extra pick comes into play. I like Jamari Thrash for the same reason that you loved Jahad Dotson in the first round a couple of years back. Explosive. Knows how to be a number one. Knows how to play a slot. Knows how to play the outside, the X. He just knows how to do all of the damn things. A to B, A through Z. He gonna make sure it happens, and trust me. That guy, Jamari Thrash, knows how to really light it up. And the crazy thing about him is it's the yards after catch. So you're getting a Jahad Dotson and a Terry McLaurin mixed into one. When I tell you you're getting a Jamari Thrash, and you're getting him in the 4th round, you know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of that right there, is the fact that I don't think that Jamari Thrash will fall that far into the draft. But if he does, and the Commanders are there, this is a player that you really want to dot your eye on, because I like the fact that Thrash not only is he a good number one, and he kind of plays past his talent. And the only reason why I say this, he came out of Louisville, so the quarterback play was suspect towards the beginning of the year. Then it just took off. So Florida State did a good job taking him out of the game defensively, which I give props where props is due. But Louisville did have a good season with him there at the helm playing receiver. One more thing about Jamari Thrash, and I'm gonna move on to the next one real quick. His downside is pretty much, like I said, and he gets taken out of a game. Frustration, obviously, fails sometimes to when he's double covered. He fails to realize he can't always have the ball in his hands. So I think that just comes from being a number one receiver, which is a habit that could be broken in the NFL right away. Pretty much when you get on a team full of dogs like, Terry and Jahad when he's 100%. So I can honestly see that just going away after a while. Next up is another guy that I consider a sleeper in this entire draft, and actually probably one of my personal favorites to watch, because I just had a debate with a friend about this. Which one is tight end university? He's been saying Miami for the longest. I said it switched over to Iowa, and it stayed Iowa all the way, but Miami has more Hall of Famers. So we'll just say that. And if you haven't taken the hint by now, Eric All, tight end out of Iowa. This guy, I watched him at Michigan, right? And then he transferred to Iowa, which is probably the best thing that he could have done. When you watch Iowa football, it's two things: offensive line, run the ball, That's it. He added what you call life to the party. He really got things going. He could catch, he can move, he can block. It was like, wow, hold on. Why is this guy not playing, you know what I'm saying, at a bigger university? And then I realized, like, oh, shoot, he was at Michigan. Yeah, but I understand Michigan gets a boatload of talent. Iowa, it's Iowa, so, you know, Iowa. It's not like they're getting top 5 recruits to come skill position wise. Like, it's Iowa. So, pretty much with that being said, Iowa tight ends usually pan out pretty well in the draft. I mean, pretty well in the NFL. Sam Laporta, George Kittles, Dallas Clark. Need I go on? Need I say more? And the thing about him is he's really replacing Logan Thomas. Like, that's really kind of where I'm going with this. Logan Thomas is aging up, injuries. You know, is he going 100%? Eric All is probably going to be that perfect piece to get. Great value. Awesome. Phenomenal. Could learn from one of the great tight ends that played in the game. Just, well, one of a very good tight ends in the game. I'm not going to say great. He ain't no Shannon Sharp. He ain't no Kellen Winslow Sr. But he does hold his own, Logan Thomas. But I like him a lot at 6'6", 6'5", 240 plus. Yeah, I really see Eric All doing a lot. And on top of that, he can really, once he gets the ball in space, this guy is difficult to bring down. And, man, if you just watch his tape, he's so difficult to bring down. All right, and round it all off in the 7th round at 219, Blake Watson, who really, to me, I really think that he can go higher, but because the Commanders have so many other needs, I really decided to just go ahead and get him at the end of the draft. I think that Blake Watson is worth more than a 7th round. He's like more of a 5th, 6th round kind of guy. But I like Blake Watson because he kind of actually gives you another Gibson type style of football. He can turn into a Tony Pollard. That's his comp to me. Tony Pollard, or, you know, he could kind of go back to a Gibson, catch out the backfield, you know, he can create space, he can line up as a receiver. He's kind of a do-it-all back when it comes to that. And on top of that, a Washington in the Senior Bowl, him and Iman Bailey, and of course Frank Gore Jr. in the Shrine Bowl. Those guys, running backs, they were pretty good, great value at this time in the draft for them. But I like Blake Watson more, just for the simple fact that, you know, he's putting more tape out there, more and more and more and more. And then I remember watching him against the Army game where he just excuse my friend, he just went off. Army and Temple game, he just went off. But granted, I know it's lesser talent, right? And the NFL obviously is a whole different speed. But I'm going to add something to you and let you know right away. You get Blake Watson. You get a younger version of Gibson. And then adding him with Brian Robinson Jr., like I talked about in my previous video, how in the mock draft I had with no trades with them, they drafted another running back. That 1-2 punch is just a younger version of that. So that's something that you want to look at if you're going to be the Commanders. With that being said, hey, I'm going to wrap it up here. Guys, hey, let me know in the comments what you think. Like, comment, of course, always subscribe. Hey, keep it friendly, keep it fun. And by the way, I'm close to 1,000 subs. I'm only 4 away, so please let me know if you make 1,000. I don't know. We'll throw you a birthday party. Take it easy. Peace.